I'm pretty sure that Glenn and Abraham had a better time at the end of Negan's barbed wire baseball bat than we all did watching Raw here tonight. That's a pretty safe bet, and that's pretty fucking sad. What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz, Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, here with your bullshit October 24th Go Home to Rematch in a Cell Raw review. I'm going to say right off the bat, guys, this review is brought to you by caffeine, because without it, Raw will put you to sleep. Oh, yes. The preview told us nothing we didn't already know, that we were getting Lesnar responding to Goldberg, which is a joke in and of itself. We're going to get Rollins versus Owens versus Jericho later tonight in the main event. And then they decide to sneak in the blockbuster that we're going to get Enzo versus Anderson to start the show. But we don't get Enzo versus Anderson to start the show. We get Jericho, who's got some terrible news. The triple threat for tonight is cancelled, which is answered by the crowd with a sparkle crotch chant. That was a great idea last week, wasn't it? Somebody has stolen the list of Jericho, and I'm not leaving the ring until I get it back, leading to the crowd to chant, "Where's the list?" It gets worse. It really does. Owens comes out and he says, "I don't have your list and I don't care about your list, but I know you care about the list, so I'm going to help you look for it after we win the match." Stephanie comes out and says, "I don't care about the list, but I'm going to help you find it tonight, but you still need to be in the main event tonight." Rollins comes out with the list, doing a whole bunch of goofball behind the back bullshit, starts reading the list and starts stirring the pot between Stephanie and Owens and Stephanie, Owens, and Jericho, saying that Steph was on the list, listed as a stupid idiot, and that Owens was on the list, listed as a former best friend. And then he makes a list of his own for Kevin Owens of all the broken body parts that he's going to leave in Hell in the Cell on Sunday, and the fact that you've been in the cell, or I've been in the cell before and you haven't, rah-de-rah-de-rah. I want to point out at this particular point in time, they spent 15 minutes of the opening segment talking about a clipboard with a list of things that Jericho doesn't like on it. And this is how we're selling the main title, the main championship match for the pay-per-view this Sunday is a clipboard belonging to somebody that's not even in the match. Oh yes. Then we finally do get Enzo and Anderson after we get the announcement that the club is taking on Enzo and Cass at the Hell in the Cell pay-per-view. It's a bullshit match, including Enzo using the No Way Jose bullshit wind-up baseball punch, which you guys know I love so much. Boot from Cass on the outside gets Enzo the win. The baby faces are cheating because they're baby faces, and we move on. Rusev cuts a backstage promo. They spoke about this in the first segment. I thought they were going to do typical to what they did last week with the women and have 2 sets of sit-down interviews, because although it wasn't entirely great, it was a new way to do things rather than just a backstage segment with an interviewer or an in-ring segment, which these guys just don't need. I'll be able to sleep better when I have my title back, and the cell is only as dangerous as the people in it, and you're in it with me. Very, very as generic as we can possibly get. Now, twice tonight, we're going to get matches that we're going to see again on Sunday, because that's how you sell a pay-per-view. The first one is the New Day versus Cesaro and Sheamus. The New Day come out and ramble on with their shtick that is beyond tired now. Basically, the message being, we like Cesaro, we don't like Sheamus. And Sheamus has shame in it. And that's about it. New Day versus Cesaro, brogue kick by Sheamus gets the win. It's okay. It's like, okay, take the stupid gimmick off of New Day. They're able in the ring. Cesaro's pretty damn good, and Sheamus is useless as always. But uppercut by Cesaro and a brogue kick by Sheamus. I will say, there was one spot towards the end of the match. Big E launched Kofi Kingston out of the ring. He was going to try and do a suicide dive on Cesaro, and Cesaro literally caught him in the uppercut. That was decent. That created the distraction to get the brogue kick by Sheamus and the win. But this is the match they're trying to get us to watch on Sunday, and they just gave it to us tonight. The New Day is stale. The odd couple tag team bullshit that they're doing with Cesaro and Sheamus has been done to death, and it never really works. It's garbage. It really is. And even if people are looking forward to this match, we just got it. So I don't know what to tell you. We replay Goldberg's return from last week, which is fine. We replay... They do him sort of like side by side with his video game entrance, which is shameless plugging in the best of ways. But they show him doing like the little punch kick thing he does in his entrance, and he couldn't do it because he was wearing pants, so he just looked like a goofball. Oh yes. Dana Brooke comes out. She challenged Bayley to a rematch from last week. Now let's think back to last week where Dana was supposed to cheat to win and fucked it up. So now WWE has to acknowledge it as a legitimate win. So now they have to go along with Dana Brooke beat Bayley. So they did this whole thing. Dana Brooke comes out all condescending. I'm gonna offer you a rematch because I'm that nice. But it's gonna be an arm wrestling match. And it's an arm wrestling match because she knows that Bayley's arm is fucked up. So they do the arm wrestling match. Bigger bodybuilder chick Dana Brooke obviously wins an arm wrestling match with somebody with an injured arm. Says, okay, I'll give you a rematch with your good arm. Dana gives her a cheap shot and a bit of a beatdown while the crowd chants boring. They have a bit of a brawl. Dana beats her down for the most part, but Bayley sort of John Cena's up and hits the Bayley to belly, and Dana bails, and we're probably going to end up having to put up with this on Sunday as well. Curtis Axel comes out, talks about Bo Dallas turning on him last week. He has to go back to his roots, desperately pulls at the strings of his father and his grandfather to get some relevance, and calls out Bo Dallas. Axel and Dallas have a match where Axel, I will give him a little bit of credit here, does look good. This is where it lends credence to those people out there that are saying Axel could be good if they didn't treat him like shit. But Bo Dallas gets a roll up for the win. I don't know why. We have a video package for Rich Swann, which is fine. Rich Swann's not going to set the world on fire, but he's one of those entertaining guys that's there, and he's in the Cruiserweight division, and it is what it is. Jericho, who's been spending the past hour or so in the back looking for the list, gets it from Braun Strowman after saying pretty please, and Braun Strowman tells him that Sami Zayn should be on the list, which leads us to believe there's going to be many more good things later on down the road. We have the backstage retort from Roman Reigns to Rusev, who brags about his Hell in the Cell experience and threatens all the damage that he's going to do to Rusev. And it's pretty much a very generic Roman Reigns promo, enough said. Golden Truth, with Mark Henry in their corner, take on the Shining Stars with Titus in their corner. Nobody cares. Henry ragdolls Titus on the outside, and he's not involved in the match, and that's the most entertaining thing about this segment. Golden Truth wins. I don't know why this was on my television. Mick Foley comes out. Now, the funniest thing about this segment was Twitter, because some people thought it was absolutely great. Some people, like me, thought it was shit. Foley comes out for the contract signing, talking about Sasha and Charlotte and how there's a lot of naysayers out there, i.e. most of the people in the YWC and on Twitter and Facebook, etc., that say women don't belong in a Hell in the Cell, and it's 2016 and women can do whatever they want, and it's very... makes me cry a little. Charlotte gets cocky, cuts off Mick. Mick yells at both of them, tries to scare them out of being in a Hell in the Cell match. The girls bicker. They eventually sign the contract, and Sasha Banks comes out with the line that you know you're going to hear from every single person that's ever been in a Hell in the Cell match. You know, see you on Sunday. No, I'll see you in hell. And tries really hard to make it sound like a not cliche line, which makes it sound even more like a cliche line. We see a promo for Emelina because, you know, Hot Heel Emma, there was clearly something wrong with that. I mean, yeah, she was shoplifting iPads, but that's another story for another day. Brian Kendrick versus Rich Swann. Made me laugh. Perkins on commentary is okay. Highlight of the match is a 450 to the outside by Swann, but Swann counters the captain's hook into a pin, and Rich Swann, who's doing nothing on Sunday, just beat your #1 contender that is competing on Sunday. Because Raw makes sense. Strowman versus Sami Zayn. Cheap shots by Zayn and some slaps and a little bit of cat and mouse bullshit. Drop kick and a drop kick or two. Sorry about that. Strowman catches him when he tries to do a suicide dive, throws him into the wall, and fucks off. For reasons. Kendrick goes to Perkins in the back talking about how desperate he is to win on Sunday, starts crying, asks Perkins to let him win. I'm not making this shit up. Heyman and Lesnar come out. It's Lesnar's not hometown, but his home school town, whatever the case may be. They're very pro-Lesnar. I mean, everybody's very pro-Lesnar. 13 years later, who gives a fuck about Goldberg? Yes, I understand that it's cool that he came back. I understand that it's a big deal that he came back. It's a big marquee match. Roddy Rod, nostalgia and all that. But we've been watching Brock Lesnar kick ass since WrestleMania, whenever the fuck they fought, 2021, whatever the fuck it was. He's been consistently destroying people. He's been consistently like the monster of the WWE, for lack of a better term. And Goldberg showed up and showed us that he can't kick with jeans on. That's what's happened so far. Heyman, the master of the mic, Paul Heyman, comes in, stutters a whole bunch. You can really tell that the crowd didn't do what it wanted him to do. He makes fun of the crowd a little bit, and then they fuck off and announce nothing, which is awesome. And then the main event comes, and it's a triple threat. And what do you get? What do you know? It's as predictable as you can possibly be. There's a 2-on-1 scenario. The crowd chants Sparkle Crotch throughout. They do, oh my god, double team spot in the corner. Owens and Jericho are punching Seth Rollins in the corner. He basically shoves them off the first or second turnbuckle into a big mess that the referee counts as a pin. He gets the win. Seth Rollins just beat the guy that he's facing on Sunday with help. So how are we supposed to believe that Owens is even a competitor, let alone a champion, going into Sunday? Makes everybody look like shit because the championship match between Owens and Rollins is built around Jericho and his clipboard, neither of whom are in the match. They brawl afterwards. Owens does the apron powerbomb that he did to Sami Zayn ages ago in NXT. They make a really quick point of saying that takes months off somebody's career and he's only got 6 days, and they really try to sell it in the last 30 seconds. Fuck this Raw. Fuck rematch in a cell. Raw is garbage. I've been Spaz, your YWC Reality Check. Subscribe up there. Talk down there. Fuck it.
You're a freak like me.